Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone. Good to have you on the broadcast today. Christian Children's Home of Ohio has served children and families for 45 years. Adoption and Family Services Coordinator Rhonda Greer is here, and adoptive and foster parent Christina Hogan is here as well to tell us about the organization and the programs. Later on today, we'll hear from Lavora Perry. She's the publisher of the East Cleveland Narrator. And later in the program after that, author Akil Marshall will discuss his book, Winning in America. Good morning, everybody. I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope. And so we beginning with two good women here. We're going to talk about some wonderful events which are taking place. Rhonda Greer, seated on the right here. She's Adoption and Family Services Coordinator for the Christian Children's Home of Ohio. And Christina Hogan on the left. She's an adoptive and a foster parent. Good to have you with us both.
Thank you very much.
Rhonda, let's begin with you. What's the mission of the Christian Children's Home of Ohio?
Our mission is to bring healing to hurting families and children in Jesus' name. And we strive to be the hands and feet of Jesus to the children who are in the foster care system and unable to live in their biological homes because of abuse and neglect.
We see a lot of children who are in need of homes.
Yes, we do. Just in the month of August, we received referrals for 88 children just out of Cuyahoga County that were in need of foster care.
And you give it there's a spiritual undergirding of your organization because of the name of Christian Children's Home. So the Christianity is in part of this program.
Yes, it's a very big part because we believe that it's through Jesus that we receive our healing. And his love and compassion for us is what we would like to pass on to the children and the families we come in contact with.
Christina Hogan, you're an adoptive and a foster parent.
Yes.
How long have you been doing this?
Just about 4 or 5 months right now. We have 4 foster children at the time.
You have 4?
Yes.
How's it working?
It's good. We have a teenage daughter who she has 2 kids, and then also her sister is with us. And so it's been challenging at some times, but it's been very exciting, and it's just been a great opportunity for everybody, our whole family.
What made you decide that you wanted to do this?
As a kid, my grandparents and my mom, different people always accepted other people into their homes, and it's something that I just grew up knowing that you do. And my husband and I, we've been married 18 years, and before we met, we both had this common interest, which helped bring us together. And so it took a while for us to finally pursue it, but more that we learned, the more that we knew that it was time to, act on it and not just talk about it. And so here we are.
I'll bet just as you are giving something to the children, you too, they're giving something to you too.
Oh yes, I've learned so much just about myself and just my family, just how strong we really are as a family, and how much my kids, it's been very nice to watch my biological kids, see how they reach out and how it's affecting them, and just really everybody. I mean, it really has been an amazing experience.
Yeah. Rhonda Greer, what are some of the concerns that you have about this whole situation of foster children needing homes and children to be adopted as well needing homes?
Well, there are, at any given time, there are probably 3,000 kids in the state of Ohio who are in need of out-of-home care through either foster care or adoption. And when kids come into foster care, it's usually in an emergency situation. Yeah. And we have licensed, trained foster families like Chrissy and her husband ready to take placement of children when they're in emergency. We try to provide love, care, and stability. We help the kids to catch up with schoolwork if they've been missing a lot of school because of neglect or abuse issues. And we just try and let the kids know that they are of value. They are worth the effort it takes to parent them. Yeah.
You're going to be talking about all of these things at your 5K run, which I see is scheduled for October the 4th.
Yes.
You tell me about where it's going to be and what's going to happen at this 5K run.
Well, as you say, we have a 5K run scheduled for October 4th. Anyone can register through www.ccho.org. And this is a family-friendly event. There will be games for kids, and there will be music, there will be food. It's It's also a walk for those who don't like to run, like myself. I would prefer to walk.
Or just be there.
Or just be there, and there'll be an opportunity to see our main campus with our residential treatment center, our Poplar Ridge Adventures, and our equestrian therapy. So it's just a good opportunity to learn.
Got a lot of things going there.
Yes.
Starts at 8:30 in the morning.
Yes.
That's on October the 4th. And 2685 Armstrong Road in Worcester.
Yes.
What's at 2685 Armstrong Road in Worcester?
That is Christian Children's Home of Ohio Residential Treatment.
That's where you're located.
Yes.
You also, I noticed that we chatted briefly before the broadcast, you wanted to talk about pre-service training for people who want to be in the adoptive and foster parent program.
Yes. As I said, we received referrals for 88 kids who needed foster homes in August, and we were not able to provide homes for all of those children. We are looking for families and individuals who are interested in becoming a treatment foster family. And in order to do that, the first thing you do is go through training. We're offering training in the Cleveland area beginning October 14th. There's 36 hours of training. We'll train Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 6 to 9, and then on Saturdays 9 to 4.
Let me put a phone number on the screen. People can get more information. 330-345-7949, as you see at the bottom of the screen right there. Or you can go to ccho.org, ccho.org. Leave us with a final thought, Christina Hogan, on why this is so vital to have homes for these children.
Well, I think that sometimes people think that they can't make a difference. You see all the hurt and the evil and the pain around, but really one person making a difference in the life of one child can stop generations, you know, and change generations to come. So just, you know, don't be afraid to do something.
It was the great Mahatma Gandhi who said, if you save the life of one, it is as if you have saved the life of the world.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. Many thanks for being on the broadcast. Rhonda Greer, Adoption and Family Services Coordinator for the Christian Children's Home of Ohio, and Christina Hogan, who's an adoptive and a foster parent. And once again, that phone number is 330-345-7949. And you'll have a big event on October the 4th on Armstrong Road in Worcester, starting at 8:30, your walk.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you on the broadcast.
Right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, ladies. I'm going to take a break. This is Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb. I'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope. Good to have you with us. M. Lavora Perry is publisher of the East Cleveland Narrator, a new newspaper geared to East Cleveland residents, and she's here to talk about the publication and about how it's benefiting the residents of community of East Cleveland. Good to have you with us, Lavora Perry.
Thank you, Leon. I'm glad to be here again.
Newspaper woman now.
Yeah.
Just getting started with it, too.
Yes.
A few months ago.
Yeah, it started in May.
Yeah, tell me about the East Cleveland Narrator. What made you decide that you wanted to start a newspaper?
Well, for a long time, of course this isn't true of Newsnet 5, but many of the media outlets in Cleveland portrayed East Cleveland in a negative light. And it kind of felt like constantly getting beat up.
Yeah.
So I really did it in response to that, to show that there's another side that wasn't being told about our city, that there are things to celebrate in our city. And also to do that in a balanced way, so that when I have to report on something that could be, you know, considered negative, I show the whole picture, you know, the good and the bad.
Yeah, I'm going to hold up one of your copies here for the month of September. Tell me about this. What kind of stories are you looking for as you go about?
Well, I'm looking for stories that originate in East Cleveland, and they can be written by writers who live here or just have an interest in the city. I look for news, like if you see the September issue, it's titled Money, 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 Money,
Yeah.
from the OJ's hit For the Love of Money.
Yeah.
Because as anybody who lives here knows, if they've been paying attention, we have serious money issues in East Cleveland. So I wanted to explore those from the point of view of exactly what's going on, because there's a lot of innuendo and rumor.
Yeah.
So I went to a financial meeting and just, you know, dug in to find out from various people, state representatives, city representatives, our financial director, Jack Johnson, exactly what's happening with our money situation.
Now, see up in the corner there, it is a free publication.
Yes, it is.
So how do you get it out to the people of East Cleveland?
Do you mean how do I pay for it or how do I deliver it?
How do you deliver? How do you get it to them?
I go on my bike, I go by foot, I hop in my car, which has East Cleveland Narrator large magnets on it, and I deliver it. And lately, a few times I've recruited my 3 teenagers to help me do that.
And you're raising money, I understand, to continue support for the
That's
newspaper.
the hope.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow, September 15th, we'll kick off our Indiegogo fundraiser, and I'm hoping that people will contribute to that so that we can continue to put the paper in its primary, the primary way that people get it throughout the city is through corner stores. And without additional financial support, I'll just have to cut down on how many I print and put them in large locations.
Yes, I was looking through it. You've got a lot of good stuff in here, a lot of interesting stories about interesting things going on, including a youngster from East Cleveland who visited the Great Wall of China. And there's some photographs in there of him. So we're seeing every community has something positive going in it, and you are trying to find those positive aspects of your community of East Cleveland.
Exactly. The positive aspects, like the young man you mentioned, Anthony Price, he is just a phenomenal young man. China is just one of the things he did. He's involved with the youth forum at the city club, but also, like I said, balanced. Everything in our city, just like in all cities, isn't positive. So I try to show the whole picture and get the facts to back up what you see in the paper.
Maybe we can get a shot of this on camera 3, because I'm really impressed by these youngsters from East Cleveland who had a chance to go to, and he's standing, that youngster right there is from East Cleveland.
Yep,
and he's standing, Anthony, and he's standing right at the Great Wall of China, one of the wonders of the world, one of the man-made wonders of the world. A wall that goes 1,500 miles long. In fact, you can see it from space. Just a little bit of information about the Great Wall of China. This inspires other kids and the adults as well, right, in East Cleveland, or anybody who reads this, right?
Exactly. What it does for the residents, it gives us, well, from what people say, it's like, wow, you know, I didn't know this was happening in East Cleveland, and it's a feel-good. Like, look at what's happening in our city. And if I could, I'd like to relay a little antidote that just shows how important that is to people. My 15-year-old was delivering papers to a corner store, one of the ones that will be supported by the fundraiser. And as she was doing that, a man rolled up to her in his wheelchair and said, "Is that the East Cleveland narrator?" She said, "Yeah." He said, "That's just what I came here for." And he grabbed the paper and went back down the street in his wheelchair. So to me, that was just so heartwarming that he came there precisely to get the paper.
And you do the writing on it, you and others, so anybody else can do writing on this too as well?
Anybody's welcome to contribute, whether they live in East Cleveland or not, as long as it's about East Cleveland. And I do have a staff of, not a staff, but 3 freelancers who write regularly. Hopefully a new photographer who's going to be a regular. And then I contribute as well. And the community is welcome to volunteer, and they do that.
There's a phone number I'm putting on the screen right now of 777-1446. That's in the 216 area code. It's right on the screen there. Or you can go to ecnarrator.com for more information. How can people send you a couple of bucks if they want to say, hey, I believe in what you're doing? Maybe people in East Cleveland themselves saying, Lavora Perry, I believe in what you're doing. Where can I send you a couple of bucks?
The first thing they need to do is to go to ecnarrator.com, and all the information will be there. If that's not possible, call the number you mentioned, 216-777-1446. I will come pick up the money. You will come pick up the money. I said they might give a couple of bucks. If they want to give a couple of grand, that's okay too. That's okay too. Okay. Well, we appreciate you being with us. Lavora Perry, who's a publisher, a new publisher with the East Cleveland Narrator. It's quite a newspaper. And I'm a former newspaper man. Of course, I'm a working journalist every day, and I'm looking at newspapers from all around the world, and I'm impressed with what you've done in this community. And I'm impressed with anybody who can put a pen to paper and publish a publication like this, a newspaper. Thanks, Leon.
Yeah, thank you for what you're doing. The written word, nothing like the written word. Beautiful. Thank you, Lavora Perry.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back in just a moment with Akil Marshall, who's going to talk about something absolutely wonderful after this. Welcome back to Kaleidoscope. Akil Marshall is the author of Winning in America, the high-five model for American education, and he joins me this morning to discuss his new book, which is focused on innovative teaching methods geared toward helping teachers, school administrators, and parents as well. Good to have you with us, Akil Marshall.
So happy to be here.
You've got quite a background. Now, you and I have known each other for, a couple of 3 decades at least, 30 years or so.
We have.
Give me a little of your background, just a thumbnail sketch of your background before we get to your book.
Lived in Cleveland all my life, and you know, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I wound up being the first strength coach to the National Basketball Association with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm a former professional football player. I didn't play high school football. I didn't play college football, but I felt I could play in wound up playing in the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pottstown Firebirds and the Philadelphia Bell in the World Football League. And then I was the first African American to have an exercise show on TV in America in the 80s. In fact, 1984, I was trying to get syndicated the same year Oprah Winfrey was getting syndicated. She did, I didn't. I'm here, and she's got billions.
And you're working on billions.
Yes, and
you're working on your first billion.
Yes. And then I'm so fortunate to have founded Dance Africa Dance 22 years ago, where we do performing arts, you know, locally and nationally, and now I also have this. We started education 20 years ago through Dance Africa Dance, and innovative ways of getting teachers and students to win in America.
Which introduces us to your book, Winning in America.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about this book, Akil Marshall.
I started looking at education when we were going into schools, and I heard so much about education, so I looked at it like a funnel. You have all of this good information, but then I said it's going to funnel through. And to me, two things are important when it comes through. If educators are not teaching young people to be, one, competitive, two, productive in this 21st century global economy, then they're not going to make it. It's a different landscape out here. You must have the social skills. You must be able to communicate. You know, you have to be able to compete and be productive.
I noticed in one, it's just a wonderful book. I'm on page 47 here, and it says, "I am a genius."
Yes, sir.
I always carry pencil and paper for reading and writing. I do my homework each night.
Yes.
When I make a mistake, I study until I get it right. I do my homework each night. When I fall down, I get up, shake it off, and work it out.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is kind of this is one of the major tenets of finding success in life.
Absolutely. It's about genius. We say it again, awakening the genius and leadership within. Every young person, every human being has genius. It is the facilitator, the teacher, responsibility to help ignite that genius, stimulate that genius in that young person.
And that's what you're doing right now. You're
Yes,
you're working with educators and parents and whoever will sit down and allow themselves to understand the genius which is in each person.
Absolutely. We think winning, it's like the mere fact that LeBron James even talked about coming back to Cleveland, all of a sudden the city gets excited. When he announces he's coming back, the city's at a different place, and it's because of the spirit of winning.
What's been the response to Winning in America, your book?
It's the people who found out about it. I was just in Reading, Pennsylvania last Wednesday. 3,000 educators they had me to present my Winning in America program to, and before that in Florence, South Carolina, to about 500 educators. So when people are finding out about Winning in America, they're bringing me in, and so this is just delightful today to be with Kaleidoscope.
Give me the CD right over there. You and I were chatting about this. Tell me, we're going to squeeze this in. I want to talk a little bit about this. It's a CD now. Well, what's this about?
This is one of our learning CDs. We create all of our own work, and so we make the music as hot as anything on the radio, something we call ABC 123 Kids Express, which is our programming between pre-K and the 4th grade, where we bring colorful characters into the classroom to help accelerate the learning of young people. We have pre-K students who learn their ABCs in English, Spanish, and American Sign Language.
Where can we get the book, and where can we get the CD and all of that, and how can people link up with you so they can find inspiration to inspire the children?
One of the ways would be on Twitter at akilmarshall.org, and then also winninginamericabook.com.
Yeah.
And the book can also be gotten at Amazon.com.
And the name of the book is Winning in America.
Winning in America.
By Akil Marshall. And I'm going to put a phone number on the screen where people can phone and get more information on what we're talking about. 216-832-0167. You see that at the bottom of the screen. You've been out there for years doing wonderful, wonderful things, and you've always stayed steadfast on what you've done. Everything I've ever seen you do has been in a positive vein. Well, whether it was, you know, strength coaching or dancing,
yes,
or Dance Africa Dance, or whatever it was. kids.
Yes, sir.
And I applaud you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And we're excited about daycares and early learning centers of this ABC 123 Kids Express, of getting young people started the right way.
And this whole book is about finding the genius in you. He's got a pledge here, which I don't have time to read, but it begins with, I will be successful, I will not be a loser, and it ends with, I will awaken the genius within me.
And that's put to music. All of our things are put to music to help ensure that it's locked into young people and the listener.
Thank you for awakening the genius in all of us.
Thank you, sir.
Akil Marshall.
Thank you.
My good friend, Akil Marshall. I'm taking a break. I'll be back in a moment. One of our partners on the broadcast is the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, led by Marsha Maccabee, who always comes with a commentary.
Well, you know, Leon, today, I believe that our role here is to always make sure that our community has information. And so we're always just about trying to bring points of information to the community that they should act on. So there is a new constitutional amendment that's going to be voted on next week, and we want our listening audience to know about it. And it's a constitutional amendment to end Citizens United, which is it has to do with campaign finance and the fact that millions of dollars can be poured into campaigns over time that can influence voting. So we want people to explore that.
Yes.
And we want people to contact their congressional people and advise which way they would like for them to vote on that issue, because we're nonpartisan. We can't tell people how they should vote. But we do want to raise the issue because we think that it's something that we should all be paying attention to, and that we should be thinking about what the influence of campaign finance can do with elections and determine where we want to fall on that issue.
Publicly, the Urban League does not take a position on this side or that side. You can't do that. But you can say this is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So we want people to pay attention to it. Congress is voting next week, so please get on it, pay attention, and contact your Congress people and let them know how you feel and how you would like for them to vote on that issue.
As we said last week, as we say oftentimes, this is all of what democracy is all about.
That's
the people
exactly
have a right to know what's going on in the government, because really the government is the people.
Absolutely.
It is the people of America who are in charge of America.
Absolutely.
And nobody gets elected without the vote.
And if we don't make our voices known, you know, we don't have any right to complain.
There you go. That's going to do it. Take care, everybody.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.